There you go. All right, Anthony, we'll go to a quarterback that you have been very high on. At least I was a little worried, understandably so. We're talking about Anthony Richardson. Early on in June, there was a lot of talk about his shoulder and and the strength of the shoulder. There were even reports he was throwing with his other arm out there. A lot of concern because I've said this before on the show. I'll say it again. Anthony Richardson is the most sexiest pick, but he's also the most risky pick. What is that from Out of Rhythm Fantasy Sports?
He's just joking. He knows how to subscribe. I hope they have a YouTube channel of their own. They know how to do it.
You know how to subscribe. This is for the people that don't know how to subscribe. This is for like the grandmas out there that are watching this show. The groupies. Anyway, so. But yeah, so Anthony Richardson appears to be a full go, and why his agent was out there this weekend tweeting out some videos, which you can see on YouTube here, of him dunking the ball, which people were saying he should be in the slam dunk contest, him throwing the ball far. So Anthony, all signs appear to be pointing up, at least for now, with Anthony Richardson. And the unfortunate thing is I feel like that's something we're always going to have to check is, how is he today? How is this today? But Anthony, this is your guy. The one thing I'll just say here, he's currently going off the board as a QB6 in the 5th round. If he's on the money, and you know me, I was hopelessly devoted to Cam Newton for a long time, even too long towards the end. Then it was like an old Yeller situation. But if Cam Newton's at the top, if Anthony Richardson is at the top of his game, and if he's healthy, can't he have a year reminiscent of Cam Newton in 2011, that rookie season, where he turned out to be the quarterback 3 behind Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees? I mean, there's a world where that exists, right?
Absolutely. And let's get it out there. Yes, there are injury concerns with Anthony Richardson. Yes, I believe he could break fantasy football if he plays all season. He can finish as the overall QB1. In a home league, if you play in 1 or 2 leagues, I'm probably going to tell you not to draft Anthony Richardson, because in those type of leagues, go get a high floor player that's not going to lose you a week. But if you're playing in a competitive league, if you're playing in best ball tournaments,
say SFB coming up for us,
SFB, FFPC, where points matter, where you get into the playoffs, head-to-head doesn't matter anymore. Then you're in a grouping of 1,000 other teams, and you need to score big points, and Anthony Richardson is the guy you want. Right now, using FFPC ADP, Anthony Richardson is going as the QB5. About a month ago, he was going as a QB6. CJ Stroud ahead of him. People are smartening up. Anthony Richardson, I can see myself ranking him in my top 3, at worst in my top 4, ahead of Lamar Jackson. In our small sample size for Anthony Richardson, he played in 4 games, 2 of which he left in the second quarter. 2 he played full game. So let's go to the 2 that he left in the second quarter. One he got us 17. The other one he got us 4. So 17.7. So in 1 half, give or take, 2 rushing touchdowns. I think that was a half.
I think that was like the end of the first quarter. He went down. He was killing it. I remember watching that.
He only had 10 pass attempts that game.
Yeah.
So 17.7 fantasy points. That's a lot of quarterbacks' entire game.
Sure.
Then the other 2, QB4 in a week, QB2 on a week. In those 4, I would say 8, 10, 12 quarters of football, 4 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, not bad.
3 passing touchdowns. Now, people worry about the accuracy. People worry about the arm. Can we go back to Lamar Jackson, his second season when he was the MVP? A lot of people were concerned about his arm. People were concerned about his arm 2 years ago.
People are still concerned about his arm, the idiots, which they shouldn't be, but whatever.
I mean, everything's just lining up. And let's keep it real here. Lamar Jackson never had great weapons. When you look at Anthony Richardson weapons, Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, who, by the way, he's never played a game or a snap in a real game with Jonathan Taylor. The tight end room's a question mark, but they got Downs. They bring in Adonai Mitchell. So really nice pass catchers. And the offensive line is getting back on track as a top 10 unit projected. And then Stan Steichen, whom every quarterback he's ever been with, dating back to Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts. And how good is Steichen? Well, he has people fooled to think Gardner Minshew's a starting quarterback. We're down that road again. People think Gardner Minshew, because he played well, understand Steichen's going to go to Oakland and handle this job. I think people are nuts for that. But like everything, Anthony Richardson has everything. The only concern I have is the injury. All that being said, I am rostering him a lot.
That's everybody's only concern about Anthony Richardson, in my opinion. We do have a comment which we'll get to in a second.
Other people are concerned about the arm, the accuracy.
Well,
they're concerned. Well, they have Jonathan Taylor, and Anthony Richardson is going to rush for all those touchdowns for Jonathan Taylor. Do people remember the offenses in Philly that Steichen coached with Jalen Hurts, and how those wide receivers were sensational, and Jalen Hurts was sensational on the ground, and I forgot that, I think it was a combination of Miles Sanders. I'm missing the running back,
Scott.
It was Sanders, Gainwell, and I think there might have been another guy. But like everybody played well.
It was Boston Scott was there.
But regardless,
he would swipe in every now and again.
The Colts offense can be a top 10 unit, folks. And there certainly could be enough to go around for both Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson to thrive as runners. I just don't like it's not complicated. Draft Anthony Richardson if you want to take down money tournaments. Draft him.
I want to go through a couple things here I want to go through just a few of Cam Newton's 2011 numbers. And I just want you to tell me, is it achievable? Yes or no? We don't have to give a ton of context. Then we'll get into some comments because there are some comments coming in here about Anthony Richardson. But you think Anthony Richardson could throw for 4,051 yards this year? Is that achievable?
No.
Okay.
I would take the under on that.
21 touchdown passes. Over under.
Where I would probably put him at 2021. I don't know if I would
take
that one.
Okay. But right there. You're not killing him. You're just saying right there. 17 picks. I think that could be a thing. People are worried about his accuracy. That could be a thing. Rushing. Now, here's the thing. Are they going to give him is he going to run the ball 125 times? Will they let him? Is more so what I'm saying. 125 attempts.
Can they not let him? Because
true.
He's an improv guy.
That's right. Okay. So, all right. So we'll see about that one.
I mean, Richardson last year, 6.3 carries per game in the 4 games that he played. And again, they weren't full games. So 6.3 times 17, assuming that's 107. So we're close.
709 rushing yards.
I would take the over.
Okay. And the last one is a big one. 14 rushing touchdowns. You can't take that, right? You would take the under on that. Not and listen, he could have 10. I mean, heck, he could have 12, but I don't know. 14 is,
No, I don't know about 14. Even Lamar in his MVP year, he had 7, but he also threw for 36. So can we, do I see like maybe more rushing touchdowns for Richardson and less passing? That's a possibility.
Yeah. We'll get to, it is. We'll get to 2 comments here about Anthony Richardson. Then we'll get to a question we had here. Greg has 2 comments here. He says, AR is fool's gold, that being Anthony Richardson. He was bad at college. He isn't going to magically be better in the NFL. Care to comment there quickly, Anthony? Because actually, just to piggyback, and then you can comment. He says, not often, I disagree with Anthony, but I'd have a pizza bet he isn't a top 10 quarterback.
That he isn't.
He isn't. That's what Greg is saying. Greg is ready to send you a pizza or have you send one to him.
I'll make that bet with Greg.
All right, Greg. Greg, you're a friend of the show. So
I mean, I don't know. Mahomes wasn't exactly great in college either, was he?
He was good.
He was good. No, was he great?
I wasn't great like he is now, but he was good. But Yeah, I do think that there are quarterbacks. There's quarterbacks who have been incredible in college and who have sucked in the pros. Look at a Jamarcus Russell, who I think got some hot water over the weekend.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
guess he was pretty good in college. But I
okay.
don't know.
I'm just saying that idea, at least to me, in my opinion, not to throw any shade at Greg. I do think that we can point out to his point that he wasn't good in college. Why would he be good now? We could
Yeah.
point to guys that were good in college or sucking the pros. We could probably find some guys that were not the best in college, but were very good in the pros. What was Tom
Yeah.
Brady doing in college? Was he the greatest thing? Was he lighting the
Barely
world on
saw the
fire?
field
And I know I'm
behind Drew Henson.
I know I'm plucking the goat out there and throwing it in the conversation, so it's not really fair, but whatever. So whatever. But all right. So Greg, sounds like you have yourself a pizza bet. So Anthony, you could feel free to flash the pizza bet graphic for Greg there. Greg will be in touch. You can let us know where you want to ship the pizza to Anthony. So there you go.